Good afternoon, good morning, good night, wherever you are. Hope everybody's doing well. Let's look at our initial data. So based on this setup, we got our data structure here. It's telling us that the low is most likely already in, and we'll continue to try to grind out the high side most likely for the rest of the day. So there's a couple things we can do because we knew we had CPI data coming out, and we knew that we also had the jobless claims coming out. So typically this type of setup is, a push day. It's a day that we tend to push, but we know that these data reports can cause volatility in candles. So you can trade them a couple of ways. You can take a riskier trade and try to catch any pulls that we get into the reports, and that's what I did. It's what I tend to do. If the data is supportive of it. So if we flip back over and we start looking, our only real good stat targets at the moment were the 73% London and then the middle of the 12-hour. And so very, very low chance we were going to break the low, even with the stat data here, right? The 12-hour down here. So the way that I tend to trade these is I'll try to catch the first statistical area down here, and then I'll set one lower, usually near a sweep of the low, in case we get that, to try to give me a better entry to get back up to this upside. And so, fortunately today, that's what happened, right? And then we started to move back up. We started to get back into this high of day range into the open. And then for me, I had a target right above this high, which is where my first scale was. And then as we started to pull back through the 930 after the open, I started exiting because I didn't want to sit through the pullback, because this pullback could really have come back down into this middle zone. Because a lot of times these data candles, these report data candles, they don't really count as hitting our targets. So I didn't want to sit through all of that after I had such a good run to the upside. So I ended up getting out. But ultimately, we wanted to go take out this selling imbalance from yesterday, and we wanted to try to get into this high of day zone up here. So this is just initial high of day zone. I don't know if I'd mentioned it, but just in case, it's kind of in this range right here, right? This little side over here. Ultimately, we wanted to get out here and possibly attempt to grind out the rest of the day. But this first range right here is where we kind of rejected. And if you notice, it's previous 930 zones from other days. So the idea being to to grind out the rest of the day to this upside, which is what we did, right? We grind out, and we get the high of day zone. And now we're just looking to possibly continue our grind to see if we can get some more high side. And so for me, if I were to try to trade that, you want to come back. If you want to try to take this at the open, you're going to have to sit through some potential pullback. Or you can just wait, see what happens, try to grab something, find some support in this range to try to take it back up. But they're not really tricky days. They tend to be upward days that really just give you shakeout pulls, things to kind of get you out of trades and, be a bit worried. And sometimes it works. Even for me, it happens. So hope everybody had a good day. Excuse me. That's really all I've got. The idea being we get back into this high of day zone, possibly continue to grind out more. We'll see, but we seem to be running out of momentum. So we'll see how it goes. I will talk to everybody tomorrow. If you want to talk about getting access to this data, reach out and we'll talk about it.